more shoes. The last push, the final push in shoes. I'm gesturing over here because there's a whole shoe rack that you can't see on the camera because of the way the closet door is. But, okay, it's mostly, I say mostly because I found another pair of non-athletic shoes in the closet. But those are leaving, so we're just going to talk about them briefly. These are Sperry's. I got them when Sperry's were in and cool. They look cute with shorts and whatever in the summer, but I actually find these really uncomfortable. I got them super cheap. I got them at a consignment store for like $12. So, but I don't like them. I find them very uncomfortable. So these are leaving. I don't wear them very much. I tried to get into the whole cute, preppy boat shoe Sperry situation. Didn't like it. I had ambitions for these shoes. So, Jonas and I are really into this Disney, just sort of oldish Disney Channel show, Liv and Maddie. And one of the characters on there, Maddie, wears these silver high tops. They're not Converse, but they're silver high tops. So I love her, and I was like, I had a motto for a while that said, be the Maddie Rooney you want to see in the world. So I bought these. But first of all, it turns out I actually think that these Converse are also really uncomfortable for my feet. And two, I never really wore them. I guess I'm not going to say I don't have an application for silver shoes, because you'll see why I would be a liar if I said that in a little bit. But I'm going to get rid of these. I'm going to try to sell them because I've only worn them like twice. So I'm going to list them on Poshmark and see what I can get for them. They're like a little bit worn out in the back, but they're still in, like, the soles basically have no wear, and the, like, legitimately, like, the Converse logo isn't even rubbed off on the inside. Like, I barely wore these shoes. So, these are also a Euro 37.5, which is like, they shouldn't fit me, but whatever. So I'm going to sell these. I just found another pair of shoes over there that I have to go get to. Okay, next. These are Pumas. I used to really like Pumas. They're like, I used to, when I couldn't afford, I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm going to accident. It's like low-key shade, and I'm not trying to throw shade. It's just happening. I used to, back when I couldn't afford Adidas, I used to buy Pumas a lot. Yeah. So, if you want to know why that shade, there's a whole thing. You can read about it on the internet, but the founder, Adi Dassler, founder of Adidas, and then the founder of Puma are related, and they kind of had a falling out, and the Puma guy, whose name I don't even know, like, went and started his own competing company. So it's a little bit, that's why I said it's a little bit of shade, because when I couldn't afford Adidas, I bought Pumas. Anyway, I found these for $10, and they're suede and black, and I have so many shoes, and I have so many black shoes, and I have just, these are not the shoes I'm gonna grab, but I'm gonna try to keep these around, because, again, I don't want to say, like, well, if I wreck them, I'm not gonna be mad. They're suede Pumas. They're nice shoes. So I think I'm gonna think about these a little bit, because it's really nice to be able to have kind of trainer-ish shoes that you can grab and wear when it's a little bit wet outside or a little bit muddy outside, and you don't want to mess up your oddies. It's such a poor application of a pair of shoes. Of like, Jonas likes to use the word junky. Like, these are my junky shoes. They're nice Pumas that I got for $10, but yep, that's where these fit in my wardrobe currently. I don't know if I will wear them. I actually think I should try to see if I can get rid of these or sell them, because they're really good shoes, and someone else should have these really good shoes instead of me wearing them with the intent to mess them up. There, talked myself into it. Just get rid of them. Okay, this is also tricky because they're New Balance, and I'm such an Audi girl these days that I bought these when I was in grad school. Again, I bought a lot of shoes when I was in grad school. They had a sale. There's a pedestrian mall with a bunch of stores on it. They do a sale on that street for 3 days, and all the stores put their stuff, like clearance stuff, for like really cheap. And so I was at Urban Outfitters, and I got those Pumas for $10, and I got these New Balances, which are so cute. They're like gray, and this kind of like, it's not quite sky blue, it's not quite teal blue, it's like an in-between color and white. And I was just like, these shoes are cool looking. And they still are cool looking. And I should wear them more. But I have all these Audis now that I didn't own. I didn't own any of these Audis at the time that I'm about to show you. So I don't wear these as much. I'm going to think about these because I still think there's an application in life for these shoes. Like, I don't always have to wear Adidas. I don't. I'm not a sponsored athlete. I don't have an Adidas sponsorship. I don't work with them. I'm not a brand ambassador. I'd like to be. Don't get me wrong. Adidas, if you're listening, I would love to be a brand ambassador. I might as well be. I already own most of your stuff. That said, nobody's paying me to not wear New Balance. Just me. I am paying to not wear New Balance. Such a mess. I'm going to see about these. I'm going to keep them in the think about it pile for a little bit. All right. One more. Well, not one more. One more, and then we get to the Adidas. My bed is so dirty from all these shoes now. Putting them on the bed is a really bad idea. Alright, Vejas. I wanted a pair of Vejas for so long, way before Meghan Markle made them a thing, by the way. I've talked about this a little bit, is that I love sustainable fashion. I'm really here for sustainable fashion. I'm trying to get into it as much as I possibly can. I'm trying to invest in companies who are doing the right things for the environment, working sustainably, actively trying to make a difference. And Veja is one of those companies. I read about them when I was trying to research shoe brands that I could get behind. They use sustainably harvested rubber from Brazil. I mean, it's from the rainforest, but it's not killing the rainforest to harvest the rubber. And they pay people ethically. They have like good social practice. These are canvas and rubber. I bought these off of Depop for like $25 because I can. Okay, I keep saying I can't afford. Oh, I can afford. Sorry, there's beeping outside. It's not like y'all haven't seen me drop $100 on shoes. I just bought 2 pairs of Fry boots. But I don't know why I was like, oh, I can't afford these Vejas. I can. But I bought these off of Depop for like $20. So they're the canvas and rubber ones. I think I'm gonna save. I'm gonna like actively save for, or actively say, I'm gonna set a goal reward thing. Like, if you X, you can think about buying a legitimate pair of Vejas. Legitimate. Like, these are knockoff fake Vejas. They are actually a pair of Vejas. And buying secondhand is the most sustainable way to shop. Even buying secondhand from a sustainable company, because producing new goods is inherently unsustainable. So if we can purchase goods that have already been manufactured and give them another life, that's even more sustainable than buying new. So I know a lot of people are like, ew, you buy used shoes. Yeah, I do. I spray them out with spray disinfectant, and I've never had a problem. So buy secondhand if you can. And it's cheaper usually. Good call. So anyway, I like these a lot, and they're staying. I worry about getting them dirty, but they're canvas, so they should clean fairly easily. I had to clean the soles, and the rubber here was pretty dirty, but I used I have that magic eraser stuff or not magic. It's like shoe. It's not magic eraser. It's called Shoe Magic. I got it at the kiosk at the mall. It actually really works well. I have to clean. I think I'm gonna make a day of it one of these times of like cleaning my oddies before spring comes in when it's time to wear them again. Anyway, these are staying. I bought these. I don't need running shoes. Why did I buy running shoes? I don't know. They were black and pink. I thought they were cute. Yeah, this is before I started playing tennis, like seriously playing tennis. But I was watching all the tennis, and there were a bunch of shoes that people had that I was like, look at how cute these shoes are. And these are not them. These are honestly running shoes. They're fabric running shoes. Which I don't run. I don't need running shoes. We've established this. But they were like sort of like the Audi court shoes that I liked. And I was like, I can't justify buying a pair of court shoes because I don't actually spend time on a court. That changed, obviously. But, I got these for like $20 again, secondhand. I don't remember if it was Poshmark or Mercari, but one of those places. So I think these are going to now fill in for the Pumas on the I want to wear athletic shoes that I'm not too worried about them getting messed up if it's raining or muddy, because one, they're fabric, they're not the leather they're not suede or leatherette or any of that. And two, they're running shoes, which is what it is. 3, they cost me $20, and 4, they're not Audi originals. They're like Adidas Running Super Cloud. I don't even know. The box is in the closet. Turbo 3.1. That's what they're called. Now we get into the accountability of the Adidas originals. I could do them in order purchased. I won't. First, we'll start with the Stan Smiths. That's right. Smiths. Plural. Very, very plural. These are the most recent ones. These are the most recent Stan Smiths. They're this pearlized raspberry color. I've worn them a few times. The bottoms are all dirty. I got these near the end of last season. They were doing an Audi Color sale, which if you don't know Audi Color, it means they do all of their original stuff in a bunch of colors, and like you can color coordinate everything. These were really on sale, and they're sort of rose goldy and pearlescent raspberry, and they're a little bit ridiculous. But I have them, and I'm going to keep them, and I'm going to wear them, and we'll see how much I wear them. If I don't actually end up wearing them that much, I'll try to sell these. Because the soles are filthy, but if I wash them, they'll be fine. Like, I'll just clean them off because the insides are still pristine, basically. So, these are the first Stan Smiths. These are the OG Stan Smiths. They're white. They're gold. I put gold laces in them because I needed to be even more extra than wearing white and gold Stan Smiths. I got these on... Well, okay, I looked at them in the store at Nordstrom Rack, which the one in the Mall of America has a shockingly good selection of Adidas. All the Nordstrom Racks are different in like what brands they get. Like there's another one in town that like all they had was Sperry's. Not all, but like they had a lot of Sperry's. And so you have to go to the right store to get what shoes you're looking for. I'm up on which Nordstrom Rack has which shoes. I have problems. Anyway, I looked at them in the store, they didn't quite have the right size, or something. For some reason it wasn't working out. I found these online on, I don't remember again, it was either Poshmark or Mercari, and ordered them. They were new when I ordered them new in box. Yeah, so These were the OG. They're white, so I'm always afraid to wear them, but now I have the shoe cleaner, so I'm still gonna not, it's not gonna like wear them running through mud or something, but at least I can clean them when I'm done. Alright. Okay, they're out of order, but they're in color order. These are the third pair of Stan Smiths that I got. That's right, there's another one. 4 in total. It's not that bad. I mean, to be fair, I did previously own the exact same pair of Saucony Jazz in 4 different colors because they were so comfortable and I liked them. And I kept buying them in different colors. So these are my black and rose golds. I also ordered these from a third-party seller, Poshmark Mercari, I don't remember. They're a little big. They're 40 instead of a 39 in the third, but they're fine. I wear them I wear them as often as you would expect someone like me to wear black and rose gold shoes, which is to say, fairly frequently. These though are probably the ones I wear the most. These are the second pair I got. I really liked the white and gold ones so much that I got some more. So these are black and silver. I think I did actually get these in the store. I think I did actually buy these at Nordstrom Rack. These are the second ones I got. I wear these the most. Because they're versatile, right? They're black and silver. They go with stuff. And again, I am such a pretentious whatever. I like to co-opt Jonas's word junkie. These are my junkie Stan Smiths. I'm acknowledging how ridiculously pretentious that sounds. But these are the ones that I'll grab if I'm like, it's kind of raining, because these are the ones that I like the least because they're just basic. They're not like special Stan Smiths. They're all Stan Smiths. They're all the same level of special, but I don't know, for some reason I'm like, the white ones are white, so I don't want to get them dirty. The black ones are black, or the black and rose gold ones are black and rose gold, so they're like a little bit nicer than black and silver. And the pink ones are pink, so I don't know. I guess these have just become the default ones that you wear, and if they get dirty, you're like, oh, they got dirty, but you're not that sad about it. That said, they're not actually dirty, so apparently I'm doing okay. The thing you're not gonna be able to see this on the camera, but the difference between these is there's like the leatherette upper on the black and rose gold ones is like a little bit nicer and than it is on this. This is just a flat smooth. This has a little bit of texture on it, and then the symbol is black on this, and it's still rose gold on this one. And then this is just flat silver, and this has like kind of embossed dots in it. Really subtle, really hard to see, but I know it's there. These need a cleaning very badly. I also got really into the Adidas collaboration with Equipment and the Parlay collection. So these are Adidas plus Equipment. There's like Equipment silk. This whole panel here and in the back is like the signature kind of Equipment silk fabric. And the shoes are Parlay, so they're from the Adidas Parlay, made with ocean plastic, recycled ocean plastic. They take it and break it down and make it into fabrics for shoes and clothing. Again, these are filthy. I hope they come clean because they're dirty. I ordered these online, and I should have asked more questions about them because they said they were listed as women's, and they were listed as women's 7.5, and I should have asked what's the Euro size on them because I know better. I know my Euro size. I especially know my Adidas Euro size. But I didn't. I just was like, bought, and they came, and they're actually the US men's size 7.5, which means that their Euro size is 40, and 2/3, and I wear a 39 and a third, so they're like a little bit big, but they don't fall off my feet, so I wear them. Okay, more from the Adidas equipment collaboration. These are black and gold. Jonas brought me these. I kept looking at them at the Nordstrom rack and not buying them. Like, don't buy more shoes. Don't buy more Adis. And there's a pair in this collection that's black, and they've got like a hot pink in the back and white, and they're cute. And those are the ones I really wanted, and I was like, oh, I really want those. But the black and golds were also cute. But anyway, Jonas, something for some occasion that was a gift-giving occasion, went to Nordstrom Rack, found these, and was like, I just looking around, I wanted to see what there was. I found these, they were in your size, I know you've wanted them, so I got them. So that was sweet. And these I like because the back is like a faux velvet, like a velour. So great. So I like these. I still want the black, white, and pink ones, but I'm really telling myself to just stop buying shoes. Stop. But we'll see how that goes. If I were going to get rid of a pair of bodies right now, if I had to pick, these would be on the list. That said, they're the only navy shoes I own, and now that I have all of these navy tennis clothing, there's a utility for navy shoes. I do wear these frequently when I'm wearing, especially when I'm wearing my tennis stuff, if I'm wearing like all of the navy, like the navy joggers or like the navy track tops, whatever. So I found these, and I got them at the Outlet Mall in 2018. And it was navy or green, and Jonas and my sister were with me, and I asked the two of them. They were split on whether I should get navy or green. I asked the internet. The internet leaned toward green. I bought navy anyway, because I don't know why I asked for other people's opinions. These are the Copa Supers in navy. They're styled pretty much exactly like the Copa football boots. They're not technically originals. They're regular Adidas, but I was like, if somebody like pressed me and was like, you have to pick a pair of bodies to get rid of right now, it would either be these, or there's ones I'm going to show you in a little bit that I would be like, okay, those. But for now, I do wear them a lot, so they're staying. These, my treasure, my loves. It's so impossible to wear these shoes with anything. They don't match with stuff. And I'm very envious because Jonas has ones that are white with blue, and those go with everything. But I could not find those in my size. To be fair, these are not technically in my size. These are 40, so they're a little bit big, but I didn't care. So these also came from the Outlet Mall, I think 2017. They're Hamburgs, which you don't see in the US ever. I was shocked to find them at the Outlet Mall. Yeah, Jonas has the white with blue. I wished that those would have also come in my size, but they didn't. These were the only ones that came in my size, so I have these black and gold ones. I sometimes put them on when Alexander Zverev is playing tennis, because he is from Hamburg and he needs a little encouragement. So I put my shoes on. They're suede, and they've got the T-top toe, and they're beautiful, and they're this low profile, and they're just, gorgeousness. I have a very thin line with these of like not wanting to wear them because I don't want to mess them up, and also like not wanting to treat them like they're such a precious commodity that I never put them on my feet. So I have to find more applications for wearing these, because I keep them around, and sometimes I'm like, you should get rid of those, you don't even wear them, and then I'm like, You're never going to find these shoes again. So treasure them. Alright. You will notice that I'm wearing different clothing. My hair's different. It's a different day. My camera battery died when I had 4 pairs of shoes left yesterday to show you. And then I was charging it, and then I got involved in other creative works and did not finish coming back to film the rest of the shoe video before the light was gone. So I'm gonna do it today. So four pairs left. These are also not technically Adidas originals. They are Sambas, but they're, I don't know, I think they call them like Samba Classic or something like that. They're supposed to be, they're definitely not the full suede. They're like, this tongue is actually a really annoying tongue. I don't like it. It's very rubbery. This is a leatherette instead of the full suede, and the back doesn't have the originals logo on it like the Sambas do. But I got these at the outlet mall in 2018 because I had always wanted a pair of Sambas. It was a thing in my life that was, even though Sambas weren't the coolest shoes and they weren't the fanciest and they weren't whatever, they were, to me, it was like, if only, I was so completely and utterly broke when I was in university, undergraduate, that I just wanted a pair of black Sambas with white stripes, and I thought to myself, if you can get that, you will have made it. I never did. I never did have enough money to get them. So I found these at the outlet mall. They were on sale. They're not the Sambas I wanted, but it was sort of a symbolic thing. Again, if I were picking shoes to get rid of, I think I'd get rid of these because I don't like this tongue at all, and I just want the originals. I do. Every time I wear these, I'm like, but they're still not right. And that said, I wear them a lot because it's really nice to have just a plain black shoe with the white stripes. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. So I do wear these a lot, but because they're not the originals and because this tongue makes me want to strangle things, if I had to pick shoes to go, they would be these, but I'm going to keep them because I wear them a lot. These are my first Superstars, not first ever Superstars, but first of this generation of Superstars. I got them at the Nordstrom Rack. They're white with metallic blue, and I think that's great. I love them. That said, these are probably, now they're the ones I wear the least. One of them got cleaned and one of them didn't, so they're drastically different colors. I should clean all of my shoes. I said that already, but just a reminder to myself that I should clean all of my shoes. These are the ones that, again, if I were, even of the originals, if some were leaving, it'd be these, because these are fine, but they're not my favorite shoes. So, it is what it is. I'll keep them around. These are often ones that I will also grab and wear if I'm like, oh, they might get a little messed up. Like, not like tromping through mud puddles, but like, it's sort of wet outside. These are ones that I'm like, I'm okay wearing these shoes if it's sort of wet outside. Which is an indication to me that I don't love them, like cherish and revere them, despite the fact that they were my first pair of Superstars in this wave of purchasing of Adidas originals. These Superstars, however, are a different story. I bought these online. I think they were Mercari or Poshmark. They're interchangeable in my brain. They are also Superstars. These are actually kids' shoes, which doesn't matter because they're still a Euro size 39 or 40. I think they're actually 40. Yep. But these were customs. They're iridescent. The stripes are iridescent and the backs are iridescent, and yeah, my stripes are messed up. There's a reason for that. It's because I'm a dumbass. Anyway, these were customs and somebody had them and basically said, I got these, I wore them once or twice, and then I put them away in the closet and probably forgot that they existed, and then was selling them for decently cheap, decent price for customs. They were cheap, and I just love the iridescentness of them. The reason the stripes are messed up is because I was wearing them this summer I wore them to the tennis center, and then I changed my shoes into my court shoes when I get there. I was walking home and I was walking down the sidewalk and trying to post on Instagram, probably, or texting, I don't remember, but I was looking at my phone and I had my music on super loud because that's what I do. And I was just walking, and ordinarily I'll like cut through and up, there's up a hill and like cut through the grass. And I don't know why, for some reason I was like, oh, I'll just walk all the way up and around to the corner and over instead of cutting up the hill like I usually do. But for some reason that day, I thought I'll just take the sidewalk, even though it's longer out of the way, and going up the hill's just as easy. And I was not paying attention, and then there were some people fixing the sidewalk on the corner, and they had just poured concrete, like cement, into the sidewalk. And they were like trying to wave at me and get my attention and yell, and I was like focusing on my phone and I couldn't hear anything, and I definitely stepped directly into the wet cement with my brand new shoes. They weren't brand new, but they look brand new because I keep my stuff really clean. And like I felt so bad because I was like, oh, I'm so sorry I ruined your work. And they felt so bad because they were like, we tried to tell you, like, I didn't want you to get hurt. And I did like cut my leg real bad because I had a stake, but I wasn't bleeding. It just bruised really badly, and still a scar there. But that was fine. I didn't even care about that. I just felt bad. They were like, I didn't want you to get hurt. And then the other person that was there was like, those are brand new shoes, and they were just like up to here in just like cement. Which it was fine. It was wet, and I just like took them off. And I had a towel. I have a towel in my tennis bag. I like went up and sat on one of the benches in the park and wiped them off with the towel and like rubbed them around in the grass, and then they came clean. And then I like properly cleaned them when I got home, but it does mean that the stripes are a little bit messed up because of it, because I'm a dumbass. So let that be a lesson to you about texting and walking, and also listening to music super loud while texting and walking, and general inattention while commuting of any form. Just, don't, because sometimes you completely mess up your brand new shoes, and also somebody's work, and also your life. But that's, whatever. These are brand new. I wore them on New Year's though. If you watch the Out Them All Day video, I'll talk about these, but I was not sold at first on the Adidas Continentals. They look like Reeboks to me, like the old 90s style Reeboks were very much like this. They had like the logo here and then this, and I was like, ugh, I don't know why you're trying to make these Adidas look like Reeboks. But then I kept seeing them because the original ones I saw were white, and then they had red and navy, which is also a Reebok thing. But then they kept coming out in amazing colors, and these shoes really grew on me in terms of a style. They're still like very chunky. The Superstars, I feel like these shoes have this illusion of being very like short this way and kind of chunky looking. Like I had them on my feet at New Year's, and I was like, these just look like chunky shoes. I thought they would have the same profile as the Stan Smiths, but they don't quite. And I can't figure out what it is about them. It might just be this color, I don't know. But anyway, I was at the Out the Mall. They had some amazing ones in a really fabulous color, and they did not fit me, so I didn't get them. And then I was just looking on the Adidas website to see if they had the same ones by chance at a similar price. And they did not have the same ones, but they did have these, which were an even lower price. And they are silver with copper metallic. So I was like, well, they're actually, with shipping, I think they were about the same price as what I would have paid for the other ones at the Out the Mall, and I was willing to do that. And I actually like these better. So These are super fun, and yeah, I wore them on New Year's Eve. Pull over the back. Love these shoes. So that is my I have too many shoes / I'm in a committed relationship with Adidas confessional video. Don't let me buy more shoes this year, y'all. Just don't. If you see me buying more shoes, please send comments and whichever way you see fit to get a hold of me, and please literally say the words, "Bitch, what are you doing?" to me, because it's excessive, and I ran out of space in the over-the-door shoe rack, and so I told Jonas this, and so of course both of us came to the conclusion that this meant that we needed to buy another shoe rack. Wrong conclusion. But here we are. And again, I've identified, like I already said, there's 3 different pairs in here that I was like, if I had to pick shoes that were going to leave, it would be them. So why can't I get rid of 3 different pairs of shoes? I don't know, because I'm weirdly attached to them. Because I'm like, oh, but this, and I justify. And okay, so I need an intervention. That's what this is about. That's what this whole channel is about. But right now, I'm just putting it out there that I need a shoe intervention. Okay, back with more.